Good morning students and welcome to another online biology classroom of St. Michael's Academy. Today we are going to discuss nervous system, about nervous system and some parts or some portion of central nervous system. So let's start. The nervous system is a complex network of nerves and cells that carry messages to and from the brain and spinal cord to various parts of the body. The central nervous system on CNS is made up of the brain and spinal cord, and the peripheral nervous system is made up of the somatic and the autonomic nervous system. It has been estimated that the nervous system of the human body contains three basic elements. About 100 billion individual nerve cells or neurons, interstitial cells including about 10 to 15 trillion neuroglia cells, neurolemma cells, stellate cells and connective tissue which remains associated with the above mentioned elements in the structure of some parts of the nervous system. Here is the classification of nervous system. Peripheral nervous system and central nervous system, two main divisions of nervous system. Now, peripheral nervous system can be classified into two parts, autonomic nervous system and somatic nervous system. Autonomic nervous system divisions are sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system, and central nervous system is divided into brain and spinal cord. Three main parts of brain are forebrain, midbrain and hindbrain. Forebrain is divided into telencephalon, diencephalon, mesencephalon, metencephalon and myelencephalon. Midbrain. Division of midbrain is mesencephalon, division of forebrain is telencephalon and diencephalon, and division of hindbrains are metencephalon and myelencephalon. Telencephalon includes cerebral cortex, basal ganglia, hippocampus and amygdala, and diencephalon includes thalamus and hypothalamus. Mesencephalon includes tectum and tegmentum. Metencephalon includes pons and cerebellum, and myelencephalon includes medulla. So this is the classification of total nervous system. Now see this diagram. Here central nervous system and peripheral nervous system has been shown clearly. This is central nervous system, consists of brain and spinal cord. And this is yellow color or pink color is peripheral nervous system. Throughout our body, this is peripheral nervous system. Functions of nervous system. The nervous system is involved in receiving information about the environment around us or sensation and generating responses to that information, that is motor responses. The nervous system can be divided into regions that are responsible for sensation and for the response, that is motor functions, and responsible for sensation is called sensory functions. So you can say that the nervous system acts as a complex information system with all the necessary means for the reception, processing and communication of information. The primary function of the nervous system is the regulation and coordination of the activities of the body. It regulates all types of motor activities such as muscular contraction, rapidly changing visceral events, secretion of exocrine glands, the rates of secretion of some endocrine glands, etc. Again, nervous system is responsible for memory and intelligence and provides higher mental processes, that is consciousness, ambition and judgment. It is also responsible for emotional activities. And lastly, nervous system regulates body temperature through the process of sweating and by adjusting the diameter of the lumen of the body vessels. And one more thing in the nervous system, important thing rather, that is pituitary gland. I'm going to talk about this gland so that you can understand properly. This is hypothalamus and this is pituitary gland. It's situated over here and this is stalk. By stalk, through stalk, it is connected with hypothalamus. Another name of pituitary gland that you can say that this is actually third eye. Now, brain functions. See the diagram. One by one, you will see the diagram. Lobe-wise, we have distinguished the functions of the brain. First, frontal lobe. Behavior, intelligence, memory and movement. This one, red color. Next, temporal lobe. Follow the diagram, yellow color. Behavior, hearing, memory, speech and vision. Vision, next one, brain stem, this one. Responsible for blood pressure, breathing, consciousness, swallowing and heartbeat. Next one, cerebellum, blue color, this portion. Responsible for balance and coordination. Next one, white color, optical lobe, responsible for vision. And the pink color, parietal lobe, this is responsible for intelligence, language, reading and sensations. Now we are going to start CNS or Central Nervous System. What is CNS? The large expanded and tubular portions of the nervous system, that is brain and spinal cord, which lie within the craniovertebral axis, combinedly from the structure called Central Nervous System or CNS. Now, what is brain? Under CNS, obviously, you know that brain and spinal cord are there. Now, first, we are going to talk about brain. What is brain? The brain is an amazing 3-pound organ that controls all functions of the body, interprets information from the outside world and embodies the essence of the mind and soul. Intelligence, creativity, emotion and memory are a few of the many things governed by the brain. Now, what is meninges? The protective membrane surrounding the whole central nervous system, that means brain and spinal cord, are called meninges. These layers bound 3 clinically important potential spaces: the epidural, subdural and subarachnoid spaces. The function of the meninges is to protect the brain and spinal cord from mechanical trauma, to support the blood vessels and to form a continuous cavity through which the cerebrospinal fluid or CSF passes. See the diagram. This is the brain structure covering actually skin, next bone, layer of bone. After that, dura mater, arachnoid matter and pia mater. 3 layers of meninges. One more time, see. First skin, next brain, bone, next dura mater, arachnoid matter and pia mater. And in between these, CSF or cerebrospinal fluid is there. So, meninges are 3 in numbers. They are dura mater. What is this? It is the white fibrous membrane which forms outer layer and present under the skull bone marrow. Fluid filled subdural space occurs between dura mater and arachnoid matter. Next one, pia mater. It is inner transparent membrane adhered to the outer surface of the brain and spinal cord. And the third one is arachnoid matter. It is middle membranous layer situated between dura mater and pia mater. It is thus known as arachnoid membrane. There are fluid-filled space in between the meninges. Under the dura mater, the space is called subdural space, and the space in between arachnoid and pia mater is called subarachnoid space. The latter space is filled up with CSF or cerebrospinal fluid. CSF or cerebrospinal fluid, this one. Next, ventricles and central canal of CNS. Brain is not a solid organ. The interior of the brain has hollow space and is known as ventricles, which are 4 in number. That is, first and second ventricles or lateral ventricles, third ventricle and fourth ventricle. The third and fourth ventricles are connected by aqueduct of Sylvius. They are also filled up with cerebrospinal fluid. So, the ventricles of the brain are a communicating network of cavities filled with cerebrospinal fluid and located within the brain parenchyma. The ventricular system is composed of 2 lateral ventricles, the third ventricle, the cerebral aqueduct, and the fourth ventricle. See the images on this video. Now, what is central canal? Before showing you this video, before making you understand, I am going to tell you what is central canal. At the central part of the spinal cord has a hollow space which is known as central canal. Now see the diagram. This is rotating, the skull is rotating. In between the skull, blue portion is there. See that portion. These two are forebrain. These two blue are forebrain. This is aqueduct of Sylvius. And this is central canal of the spinal cord. This narrow portion is the central canal of the spinal cord. And this is third ventricle. This red color is third ventricle. And this one is fourth ventricle. So by aqueduct of Sylvius, third and fourth ventricle are joined over here. So the human central canal extends throughout the spinal cord, 1 to 2, derived from the primitive neural tube. The central canal encompasses an internal system of cerebrospinal fluid or CSF cavities that include the cerebral ventricles, aqueduct of Sylvius, and fourth ventricle. Now, cerebrospinal fluid or CSF. CSF is a clear colorless body fluid found in the brain and spinal cord. It is produced by specialized ependymal cells in the choroid plexuses. So you can say the clear, colorless, transparent, alkaline and modified tissue fluid which is present in the ventricles of brain, central canal of the spinal cord and subarachnoid space of the central nervous system, brain and spinal cord is called cerebrospinal fluid or CSF. CSF resembles colloid-free plasma with certain variations of crystalloid contents. The total volume of CSF is 80 to 150 milliliter in adult and contains glucose, protein, lactic acid, urea, cations like sodium, potassium, calcium, magnesium, and anions like chlorine and bicarbonate, etc. Now, what is the function of CSF? CSF assists the brain by providing protection, nourishment, and waste removal. CSF provides hydromechanical protection of the neuroaxis through two mechanisms. First, CSF acts as a shock absorber and cushioning the brain against the skull. Excuse me. Now see the flow of CSF, this green color portion, from spinal cord or brainstem through brain. Hope so you have understood. This is the way. Follow me, you will understand. Started from here. Next it is coming like this. And then it is spreading out in this way and that way. Like this through the brain, throughout the brain. So, one of the function of CSF is protection. CSF remaining inside and outside the central nervous system. Thus, it acts as soft cushion between the soft and delicate brain substance and rigid cranium. CSF therefore acts as shock absorber against external blow on the head. Next function is supply of nutrition and oxygen. CSF supplies oxygen and nutrition to the nerve cells of central nervous system to some extent. And the third one is excretion. CSF acts as drainage of metabolites which are formed in the nerve tissue of brain and spinal cord. Now here we are going to discuss about the cerebrum. What is cerebrum? The largest part of the brain. It is divided into two hemispheres or hubs called the cerebral hemispheres. Areas within the cerebrum control muscle functions and also control speech, thought, emotions, reading, writing and learning. So the cerebrum or front of brain is composed of right and left hemispheres which are joined by the corpus callosum. Functions of the cerebrum include initiation of movement, coordination of movement, temperature, touch, vision, hearing, judgment, reasoning, problem solving, emotions and learning. Now see, first you see this diagram. Brain diagram. This is brainstem. That is cerebellum. This portion is cerebellum. This is brainstem. And this yellow color portion is cerebrum. Okay. Now see this diagram. You will understand because there is the main divisions of cerebrum. Follow the diagram. Frontal lobe. Next parietal lobe. Next occipital lobe. And the next one is temporal lobe. Okay. And here is the function of cerebrum. So there are four lobes in cerebrum. Frontal lobe means anterior part, parietal lobe means middle top part, occipital lobe means posterior part and temporal lobe means below parietal and internal part. And another one portion is there, that is insula. It cannot be seen at the surface of the brain because it is buried within the lateral cerebral sulcus, deep to the parietal, frontal and temporal lobe. There are some fissures also. Each cerebral hemisphere has four big main fissures. They are central sulcus or fissure of Ronaldo, present between frontal and parietal lobes. Next one, parieto-occipital sulcus, present between parietal and occipital lobes. Third one, sylvian or lateral fissure, present between parietal and temporal lobe. And fourth one, calloso-marginal fissure, present between temporal and insular lobes. Each lobe is again subdivided by smaller lobes by sulci. Hope so you have understood the total structure. Now see the functional portion. See this, this portion is responsible for judgment. This portion for movement, sensation, vision, coordination, memory, reward, pain. So these are the portion of cerebrum that are responsible for the various functions that we used to do in our regular life. We used to cry, we used to get angry. So everything will be organized properly by cerebrum. For subject-related doubts or queries, please email me at shudeshna1.sma@outlook.com. We also welcome your responses by way of your views and feedback on the PPTs or videos at feedback.stmichaelsacademy@gmail.com. Thank you, students, and have a nice day.